Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Frantic Nerdcast.
We're here, ready for another great year.
Yes, and in the famous words of the immortal Backstreet Boys, oh my God, we're back again.
Yes, survived Christmas, survived Europe, and we are down to 2 tonight, but Brock will be back next week and ready to go. But today is episode 52, and I'm ready to talk all things nerd.
Yeah, it's there is so much stuff that came out like news-wise that I want to cover, but it's like I don't know if we have enough time for this.
Well, that's good because I said I was in Europe and missed a lot of the news. Like I know there's a new Switch coming out that a lot of people are happy and not happy about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. I've missed a lot of the nerd news while I was away overseas.
Yeah, well, there's a metric fuck ton, in all honesty.
Excellent.
So we got a whole heap of news coming your way from the last 5 weeks?
Yeah, probably closer to 6 now.
6, yeah, something like that. We're going to talk about our top movies and our top TV shows from last year as well.
Yes, some have realistic lists, some do not, but we'll cover them.
Yeah, some of us cheated, some of us did not, as is per usual. So let's just jump into some news first off. Cyberpunk Edge Runners. You know, do you watch that on Netflix?
Have not, but it's on my watch list.
It's a fucking great show, man. Yeah. Really, really good. It's getting a prequel manga.
Sweet.
Based on 2 of the characters that are in it. So that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that because it was a great anime.
Yeah, I've heard because does it tie in with Cyberpunk 19 or 2487 or whatever it's called, the game?
I've never played the game. I have no idea what the game's about. I know Keanu Reeves is in it. But as far as I'm aware, I think it's just in the same universe.
Okay, because I know there was the game had a lot of hype, and I've heard good things about the game. I've also never played it, but yeah, definitely the show was on my to watch list, and
it's
excited,
really good.
Excited, there's more content to watch then.
And then also we've got Sadie Sink from Stranger Things, the ginger chick from Stranger Things. She is rumored to be playing Jean Grey.
Saw that rumor, yeah,
which will be pretty fucking cool. I'm all for that. I think she's a great actor.
The casting pic I put up, which I'm assuming is fan made, looked quite good. So I think she did a good job.
She was in The Whale with Brendan Fraser, which is a sad as fuck movie.
Yeah,
but she was so good in it.
Yeah,
so I look forward to that if that is the case. But grain of fucking salt, man. Grain of salt. On the X-Men as well. I don't even actually think I have this on my list, but apparently the Russos have signed on to do X-Men.
I have seen that they've signed on for a bunch of projects, including the X-Men. So apparently there's more in as well, but not sure what those are.
Yeah, I'll believe that when I officially see it because so many of these rumors are just people making shit up, man.
Well, I said they've done such a good job with past ones. I think everyone just wants them back and basically wants the Marvel exclusive.
Yeah, pretty much. 28 years later, the sequel is coming out 6 months after the movie comes out.
Well, that's going to make you and Brock very happy because you thought it was going to be a year later at least.
Well, that'll be this year it comes out.
Yeah.
So that's exciting news.
I was hoping they would be on the planes to watch. Unfortunately, they were not.
Yeah, they're not big on putting horror movies on planes.
There's actually quite a few. I did look, wasn't there?
No, fair enough. What else got? One Piece Lego has been announced.
I'm all for it.
Yep, as well as the one that's going to make them $5 trillion. Bluey Lego has been announced.
Yes. I'm honestly surprised it hasn't been out sooner.
But the question is, and I was talking to our mate Brendan about this, is it going to be Duplo or is it going to be Lego? Because obviously Duplo is a brand of Lego. But when it was announced Lego.
Yeah, but Duplo is a Lego.
I know, that's what Brendan was saying as well.
I have a feeling that they'd be smart to do it across both. So you get your Bluey out for the kids, but also your Bluey out for the adults. But I think the Bluey models suit Duplo as well, like that chunky style. So it wouldn't surprise me if it is a Duplo exclusive.
I can imagine it'd be like the Friends, not Friends the show, but like there's like a Friends, like a more girly themed Lego. They've got different minifigs. So I'm imagining that if they did go Lego route, the Bluey figs would be more not Lego minifigs, but like that sort of particularly designed minifigs.
Back to One Piece though, season 2 of the Netflix series has finished production.
I did see that today, actually.
Yes, I'm all keen for that. Excited to see it moving forward, especially since it does look like they are taking a quicker route to the end goal than the anime is.
Well, they've got to, man, because there's so much stuff to cover, and 100%. The show's going to get cancelled before they get to that. So
that's my only concern with the show. Is even going at this pace, they're still at least conservative. You're looking at 4 seasons minimum before you get to the time skip, and even that is well and truly being conservative.
Yeah, like that's some smashing through and shit. Like there are a lot of arcs in One Piece I reckon they could skip in the live action.
Yeah.
Because a lot of arcs is kind of didn't really need to be there.
Like the Alabasta arc, it will definitely be cut down because that's
what this season is. The Alabasta arc.
And that in the anime, that's what is the arc. I think that's everyone says you just get through season 1 and you'll be right. You get through the Alabasta arc with One Piece and you'll be right.
Because so the Alabasta arc, I think, because a lot happens in the Alabasta arc as well. But I think I reckon finding Chopper will be like an episode.
Yeah, well, the Alabasta arc itself is effectively like almost 4 seasons in one. So getting to that, then you go from there to like Skypiea, which is again very interesting, and it gives you more backstory on Gold Roger, the Pirate King. But again, that could be smashed through and dwindled down because it doesn't really give you much character progression so much as like developing new abilities or powers or things like that. So I wouldn't surprise me if they skip a lot of the arcs or condense them down to 2 or 3 episode arcs, except for ones where it's a bit more pivotal, like finding Chopper or finding new crew members, until you really get to like Annie's Lobby and Water 7, where you start to get into the heavy stuff before the time skip.
Like, I mean, they haven't mentioned the skeleton dude.
Well, he doesn't come in really. Brooke doesn't come in towards the end of that pre-time skip.
So I reckon because that has to be next season. They have to bring the next crews in next season.
Brooke comes in after Nico Robin. So Nico Robin will come in.
Nico's in this season.
Yeah, so she'll come in at the end of this one, but then towards the end of, just before you find Brooke, she gets captured by the government, and that's what sends Luffy on to declaring war against the world government and things like that. So that is such a pivotal arc that you can't really skip much in that.
She's in this, so I reckon...
Yeah, so she joins at the end of this season.
And in all honesty, that season where they find Skeleton Dude... the graveyard with the big vampire guy. It's not that fucking great a season.
That's another one that could be skipped through. It's got a pivotal scene at the end with like Zoro's like crowning moment where he absorbs all of Luffy's pain and thing. Like that's a scene that I look forward to seeing how they do in live action. But again, it's not an arc really that is overall pivotal, other than finding Brooke and Zoro's moment at the end.
Yeah. All right. So One Piece, Lego and the TV show. What else we got? Sonic's 4 is set for 2027 release.
In March. And you know what else is set for that month? Godzilla and Kong's next one.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, Godzilla Kong 4. So that'll be very interesting.
That's going to be an amazing month. My birthday as well. So
for those of you who are punk rock fans, we've got a movie called Out Come the Wolves, inspired by the music of Rancid, which is pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Rancid were all for it, so that'll be pretty schmicko. The Gundam TCG has been released. Me and Brock got to go play the beta game. We posted some pics and stuff up on the Instagram. It was a fantastic game. It's by far my favourite TCG.
The art
of
the cards look fantastic.
It's just absolutely amazing card game. Great. Looking forward to it. Just hoping Bandai don't fuck it up like they tend to do. And also announced just after that was the Gundam Assemble, which is a Gundam miniature game.
Sweet.
From the pics I've seen, it looks like it's going to be like a kitchen counter mini game along the ways, like on a hex grid, kind of along Warhammer Underworld's Riot Questy style, where you look like you'll probably have 3 or 4 mechs battling against each other on a hex grid. Yeah. You can get in July, when the TCG is officially released with its first booster box and 4 starter sets, you can get the 4 starter sets with a minifigure in each one of the main Gundam that's in each one. But they're like another $40 on top.
So that'd be an interesting game to play. My question is, and it's obviously Gundam lore related, are they customizable? Like, could you, rather than having like 3 mechs on the board, would it be possible to take like one super mech?
No.
So
Gundams, it's like, that's the Gundam. The only time they upgrade is when they get destroyed.
Right, okay.
And then it's like rebuilt is like bigger and better. I was like, why didn't you fucking just build it that way in the first place?
Okay.
But no, yeah. So you've got like
you'd have different variants, but you wouldn't have like a super Gundam on the board, sort of thing.
Yes. Yeah. Well, there is in some of the shows there are like mecha Gundam kind of thing, like supersized Gundam that are like 20 times the size of a normal Gundam, and they destroy cities and shit. That's in a couple of the different series, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be probably my most played miniature game.
I have no doubt that
the minis look awesome because, for those of you who don't know, Bandai are the largest hobby model kit manufacturer in the world.
Did not know that.
The Gunpla kits are some of the most manufactured in the world.
Yeah, I can see you having bought them, built them, painted them all within 24 hours.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I cannot wait. Keeping on Gundam Wing, which is the show that, for many people, popularized Gundam in the Western culture. It's getting a new anime.
Excellent.
So this is Gundam Wing's like 20-something years old, and it's getting a new anime for it, which is going to be fucking awesome.
I have no doubt you said this before, but for the Gundam novice, what would be the anime to start?
See, it's tough because everyone's got their own favorites. Like for me, Gundam Seed is my favorite, then followed by Iron Blood Orphans.
But so Gundam Seed being your favorite, if a novice would be to start there, would they be lost or would they need...
No, because it sets in its own universe, Gundam Seed, which is probably a good one. So you got Gundam Seed, Gundam Seed Freedom, and then they've just released a movie the end of last year, which carries on at the end of that. And that's pretty much it for that one.
All right.
Whereas Iron Blooded Orphan, it's its own thing as well. It's 2 seasons, own thing, but it's a fucking hardcore one, that one. Like, it's about kids getting murdered and child slavery and shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to re-find all the animes that I was like partway watching and like trying to work out if I finish them or start something new. So
Gundam Seed is phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's 2 seasons, 250 episode seasons.
Right.
And I think each one has like a filler episode in the middle. There's like a recap one of the first half of the season kind of thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, everything's pretty much continuing
and
the
then,
story.
Before we move away from Gundam, Gundam live action, take it away.
Gundam live action has been announced. Bandai Namco, I think it is, have partnered with Legendary Studios.
So will this be movie or
this
TV
is
show?
Live action movie.
Movie.
Yeah, and apparently it's already in pre-production.
So do you? I know there's very little out there at the moment, but would you be asking them to follow a particular storyline?
So it's going to follow the OG. It'll follow the OG with the RX-78 Gundam, Emiro the pilot. The original Gundam and Gundam Seed are very much a very similar story. Essentially, people live in space, people live on Earth, they hate each other. A space colony crashes into Sydney, destroys Australia gets fucked over in Gundam anime.
Yeah, we do.
Like hardcore fucked over.
I'm just glad we've got a presence because
every single one you watch when it sees it, you see a map like Gundam's like half of Australia's just gone.
Excellent. So the follow-up question to that is that a good storyline to turn into a live action?
Yeah, it's a great storyline. It's the main storyline. There's so many shows. Like you got the original Gundam, you've got Gundam Zeta, Gundam ZZ, F91, Unicorn, 08th Team.
So all the big players,
fucking heaps of them.
So that's my concern with like other shows in the past that have been translated into the movie. They often try to cram all the like hero stars into it, but it then ruins the storyline, being like a 2-hour storyline where you'd kind of have to obviously start at the start and introduce everything to everyone.
It's because a lot of the story in this one can probably be told via like at the start of it. They can probably start partially into it, and it's like, you know, this thing fell, Earth age, like a news report kind of thing, and then pretty much just jump into Emiro getting into the Gundam because he gets into it by accident.
Yeah,
and then he ends up teaming up with a team of soldiers and ends up having to fight when he doesn't want to fight. And
see, I think it's also like something that Star Wars obviously did very well is just starting with like a brief wall of text. Gives you all the background information you need, and you can start
really
straight away.
All need just that, or like a quick 5-minute news thing that tells you the entire fucking backstory of like genetically altered people and stuff, and blah blah blah. Yeah. All right, off Gundam. I discovered that there is a movie called Gator Shark vs. Zombie Cheerleaders.
Fuck, I love B-grade movie titles and just B-grade movies.
I want to watch it. I want to watch this movie. I already know what it's about. It's about a shark/gator hybrid that has to fight zombie cheerleaders.
Yes, and you know it's some mad scientist that has been fired from their government job that's created in some dodgy backwater lab. Yeah, I love it.
And you know there'll be lots of boobs because it's zombie cheerleaders.
Mate.
But it's What a name.
But again, it's a B-grade movie. You go in knowing it's a B-grade movie. It's just for the laughs. It's so bad, it's funny.
Big Hero 6 producer teased that there may be a potential sequel coming.
Yeah.
I loved Big Hero 6, and it's, for those of you who don't know, Big Hero 6 is actually based on a comic book. The comic is very different from the Disney movie. Very different. It's produced by Marvel. And they're officially Marvel characters, like they're in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, because I think the Marvel Rising, the game that's out, I think they're going to be released into that soon. And
Tony Stark is in the movie, apparently. He's like one of the scientists off to the side when they're doing the school expo thing and stuff. Yeah, so it's one of the little teasers. What else we got? Ben Schwartz wants to play Plastic Man in the DC universe. So Plastic Man he's a very big, like super powerful character, can't die.
I think I saw the Facebook post on that. Didn't really know who Plastic Man was. So
essentially the same powers as Mr. Fantastic, but he's essentially invincible because he's made out of every part of his body's made out of plastic and stuff. And he's a major part in a lot of the big story arcs.
All right.
What do we got? Rory McCain, the guy that plays the Hound in Game of Thrones, he will be replacing the late Ray Stevenson in Ahsoka.
Did see that. Haven't seen the first season, so didn't really know who the character is.
It's probably the best thing Disney has released for Star Wars.
Yeah, I've heard
in a long time.
I've heard. I just haven't found the time to sit and watch it.
Halo is reportedly removing its Xbox only and will be heading to PlayStation.
I wonder why that is.
Money.
I'm assuming so, but like
they're getting smashed by PlayStation.
They've waited.
Because a lot of people started to turn to PCs as well from consoles.
Yeah, well, I haven't owned a console really. I actually really haven't played a console properly since the PlayStation 2. I've had the Wii, but that's really it's got a Switch. But yeah, mainly play PC. So
Star-Lord is reportedly cameoing in Fantastic Four.
I have a feeling it's going to be just cameos galore.
I reckon they'll all be at the end.
Yeah.
Gremlins 3 is happening with the OG writer doing the script.
Mm-hmm.
This one, Sacha Baron Cohen. So for the Ali G, Borat, all that. He's been trolling thousands upon thousands of people with a character. He's a DJ named James Hype, and he's been doing it for years, supposedly. And he would tell the people like the most stupid and outlandish things, like that he created a certain form of DJing and stuff like this, and stuff that a simple Google would tell you isn't true.
Yeah.
And all these people were fucking believing him.
Well, it's America.
And he said it's just ridiculous. He said, where was it? He says his fans would lap it up. He said, "I fear the public has become too stupid for me to continue to do satire comedy." That was his quote.
100% it has.
Which is just hilarious. My Hero Academia Vigilantes anime is coming on April 7th.
I cannot wait for this. I think it's going to be brilliant. The Hero Academia is just one of the best animes I've ever seen. I think this is going to be brilliant.
It just came out. It's rated the highest watched anime series ever or something like that.
It's just like it's such a detailed anime, but so entry level as well. Like anyone can get into starting to watch it. If you're not a big anime fan, you can get into this level of anime, watch it, enjoy it, and it's still got plenty in there.
And it's finishing.
Yes.
Like most animes do not get to do.
But in saying that, this was meant to finish in the last season, and they've clearly extended one season. So
money. Oh, that money.
But at the same time, I don't mind them doing it if it meant they didn't have to rush the ending.
Yeah.
So I don't mind them taking the time to do the ending right, as long as it doesn't then continue for another season and another season.
Yeah. This is true. All right, what else have we got? Ulrich Thompson to be Sinestro for the Lanterns. I don't know who Ulrich Thompson is.
No, I saw that. Didn't know who he was. I know Sinestro is just, I'm assuming, the bad guy.
He was a Green Lantern and he starts the Yellow Lanterns, which are based on fear.
Yep.
So that's interesting. And then lastly, Day Shift sequel may be happening. Day Shift was a great vampire film on Netflix with Jamie Foxx and Dave Franco.
Yep.
Snoop Dogg was in it as well. It's a great movie. Highly recommend it. Go on Netflix, watch it, people. And it might be getting a sequel, so that'll be good.
I remember seeing the hype for this coming out. I just never got to watch it. It
was a really enjoyable movie, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So looking forward to that one. And then also, you mentioned at the start, but the Nintendo Switch was announced and it's coming out in 2025.
So what was the hate for this?
I don't know.
Because the only thing I briefly saw was because it looks very similar to the original. It's like they haven't...
But it doesn't... It's got magnetized grips now instead of sliding grips. The controllers look a bit more controllery when you pull them off for like playing them in your hand.
Yeah.
But it's like most of the Nintendo stuff why upgrade a system that works kind of thing. So they don't go, we're going to pump so much shit into it. Yeah. It's going to be fucking so amazing. It's going to come out. It's going to cost $6 million. They're just like, it's pretty much the same with a better screen. And it's like $400.
Yeah, well, so my wife just got into one, so I bought her one for Christmas, and she's got a few games that she's playing. So yeah, like I think the Switch is great, and the fact that the second one's coming out, unless it makes my old games defunct somehow, I don't have an issue with it.
I do need to get a new one because I hacked mine and it
don't work no more.
No, it works, but I can't connect to the internet for anything.
Yeah,
like you can't connect to the Nintendo store because it blocks your IP address, like the actual code address of your Switch. So again, a lot of games now you can't buy physical games for them. Even if you buy the case, you open the case and it comes with a little card. You've got to put the code in.
Yeah, I bought one of the games I bought for Lisa was that she opened the game like, it's empty. I'm like, no, see that sticker there? That's the important part there. That's the code.
That's infuriating.
I do like having the actual game.
That's pretty much it for news. So let's jump into, oh my God, what's happened here?
Well, before we talk about that.
Before we talk about that.
I'll say, so general nerdy things in the 6 weeks we were away. So what did you get up to?
What did I get up to? Now, did some Christmas stuff, read some comics, looked after children screaming at me. I did some 3D modeling. Me and Brock are working on a new miniature game, which that's about all we're going to say about it at this time because it's nowhere near ready to play anything.
Some of the modeling does look cool, I will say that.
It's got a lot of models done for it. They look pretty cool. I'm very happy with them. Got to play the new Gundam TCG, which is very fucking cool. My gearbox in my car blew up.
Always fun.
That's really all. Watch some new movies and stuff, which we'll talk about at some point once we've got the full team.
I'll say, so I caught up, obviously going through Europe. The best part of living in Australia, going overseas, is usually the plane ride is quite long and you can watch a bunch of movies. So I caught up on a fuck ton. Bad Boys 4, Fall Guy, Jackpot, Borderlands, which I kind of fell asleep through because I'd been on the plane for a while at that point.
It's okay. You didn't mention anything.
Furiosa, King Kong Godzilla, Beekeeper, Transformers 1, ONE 1, not the first Transformers, Dune 2, Oppenheimer, Marvels, Bookworm, and Harry Potter 1, 2, and 3 just because I had time to kill and that was the last good thing on there.
Fucking hell, they were some movies.
They were.
What do you think of Transformers?
Pretty good, actually. For a movie that got rather negatively rated, I actually quite enjoyed it.
I don't know why I got so bad. I thought it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it heaps.
I think possibly because it was animated and not live action like we was receiving the Transformers beforehand.
Yeah, but the live action ones are fucking shit.
Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a good storyline. I knew nothing about it going into it, but yeah, it was quite good. Megatron in it was his banter with Optimus before they turned into Optimus. Megatron was pretty funny the whole way. Them in the race was pretty funny, but yeah, overall I thought it was quite solid. Watched Dune. Going into it, wasn't sure what I would think of it. I think in the first one, a lot of actors got paid a lot of money for doing not a lot of work, especially like Zendaya, who was in it for all of 3 minutes, and that was mainly flashbacks. But yeah, no, it was really good. Do regret not seeing it in the movies because I think it would have been a lot better in the big screen with the sound rather than my little phone screen I got to watch it on. But no, it was quite good. The second one was long, but yeah, I didn't think there was too many dead spots in there or things that could be cut. So yeah, there is a third one coming, isn't there?
So the third one is coming. It's based on Dune Messiah.
Right, so is that storyline ended?
That's book 2. Yeah, so that part 1 and part 2 was Dune, the book Dune. That's Dune
just
done.
That book, yep.
That's how it ends, essentially. They changed it a little bit, but that's how it ends. Dune Messiah is the next one.
And that's to do with this holy war?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
And then when it ends, Children of Dune is the third book, and that's your main trilogy done.
Right.
And Children of Dune is based on Paul's twins.
Yep. And
it's a good book. I really like it because that's when you actually get to see the daughter. She's the mum's pregnant.
The sister,
in it. Yeah. So that's Anna Taylor-Joy is playing her in the movies, or played her for like the 2 seconds she was in the second one. But supposedly, I hope if they do Children of Dune, she'll hopefully play her. But yeah, she's in the third book.
Sweet.
So I don't know how much of Children of Dune and Dune Messiah they're going to merge into a third movie, because supposedly Denny isn't going to do a fourth one.
Right. Well,
he's only doing the third one.
Considering how long 1 and 2 was, and that was only one book, I feel that's going to be...
Well, the second book is very small. It's not a big book.
Right, fair enough then.
But yeah, and then I watched Dune Prophecy.
That's the animated
series.
one?
No, it's a series.
Oh, just a series.
On HBO. It's great.
All right.
Really, really loved it. It's got old mate from Vikings, the Aussie guy.
Yep.
He's in it. It was a great show. I've really enjoyed it.
Cool.
It's like 6 episodes. It's good.
Yeah. Other than that, I read a bunch of Warhammer books, so catching up on the end times, because I've only ever read The Slayer, which is kind of the extra book at the end of the end times. So yeah, reading the rest of those. And other than that, yeah, just did a bunch of the typical European landmark sites, Disneyland, saw Fawlty Towers stage show. That was brilliant. Moulin Rouge. Yeah, all that. Anfield, watched Liverpool play there. Really fun holiday.
Nice. Have you seen the trailers that dropped yesterday and today?
No, I've been back at work.
Fantastic Four, baby. Teaser trailer dropped.
Excellent.
Oh, it looks good. It looks so fucking good.
I've always enjoyed the Fantastic Four as a superhero collective.
Yeah.
Actually, never really thought the movies we've gotten were that bad.
The first two were campy as fuck, but that's what comic book movies were back then.
At the time, yeah.
The Fan Four stick was fucking horrible. It wasn't a good movie. I'm sorry to anyone involved in it. It just wasn't a good movie.
I think they had a good cast.
Oh yeah, they had a great cast.
It wasn't great, but I didn't think it was as horrible as some people said. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a good mix of hero powers working, like the ensemble working together, so it should be good. That
Fan Four stick one, I was actually really looking forward to it because it's directed by the guy that did Chronicle.
Yep.
And it had Michael B. Jordan, who was in Chronicle, Miles Teller, Mira, whatever her name is, the ginger chick, all great actors. And I was really looking forward to it, and it just so bad.
So I know it's a teaser trailer, but I'm assuming this movie will be the origin of the Fantastic Four. So
from the trailer and from what we've heard, they're just jumping straight into it.
Okay.
And like the trailer kind of shows, like it's kind of probably going to show flashbacks of
I was going to say, if it's jumping straight in, I'm assuming there'll be like some brief, like 5-10 minute flashback.
But it's also based in a different universe to all the other Marvel movies.
Right. Obviously, because that's how they're going to bring Doom through as Robert Downey.
So whether he's in this movie or not, I don't know. But Galactus is the big baddie.
I have a feeling he'll appear as like a cameo or spoiler at the end or something like that. You'll see something. But yeah, no, Galactus being the baddie again should be good. And yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it.
Okay, well, that's all the fun stuff. Let's get into the even more fun stuff. We're going to talk about our top movies and TV shows of 2024. Now, Brock not being here, we'll get his next week when he's in. But let's jump straight into it. I've got a list of 20 of each.
So movies I found harder to do. TV shows, I had a lot that would sort of rank in like my second favorite category. There's only I think 3 or 4 that I put up into like my number one that I talk about. But there was definitely quite a few that I'm sure, looking at your list, I can see there's a few that I've got there that would have fallen in my like B category. So,
all right. Well, what we'll do, we'll probably talk about so you got like 5 for each.
I've got 5 for movies and about 5 for TV shows as well.
All right. Well, what we'll do, we'll do a little bit of a deep dive on those 5 kind of thing. And I'll just run through maybe from my 10 down to 5 for those. What do you want to start with, TV shows or movies?
We'll go movies first. So do you want to do you have your mid-season review there or not?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. Okay.
Well, I've got my mid-season review list.
Okay.
Because that was what Brock told me to do.
I don't know what mine was.
I'm still listening to my bosses, so I do what I'm told.
Okay, yeah, cool.
My mid-season review for my movies, my top 3 movies were Deadpool Wolverine, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, and Axel Foley, the Beverly Hills Cop remake or continuation. I can tell you now my list has changed severely since then.
I don't remember what mine were. I'm going to guess that Wolverine and Deadpool were on
it was
there.
number 1 from memory, but you guys did it before I was on board, so I can't remember.
What else was on there? Oh, yeah, what was it? The one with Sydney Sweeney in it.
Oh, the Glenn Powell one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely on it.
That was on my top list. And then the third one was another rom-com. Oh, the one with Zac Efron and Nicole Kidman.
That was a good movie.
They were my top 3.
Excellent. All right, so you lead off with your 100 to 5, and we'll go
my
from
number
there.
10 movie was Argyle.
Watched that on the plane, actually. Forgot to add that on the list. It went a completely different direction to what I thought it would be, but it was good. It got
bagged hardcore.
I can see why it did.
Yeah, so can I, but it was still a fun movie.
Yeah, and it kept you on toes. Like there was plot twist after potential plot twist. It was quite, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was definitely a different style of movie, but it was quite good.
I don't know why I got so much hate. Lisa Frankenstein.
Haven't seen it yet.
It's on Netflix. It's directed by Zelda Williams, which is Robin Williams' daughter.
I think my wife watched it one night while I fell asleep.
It was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. It's just about this weird, quirky girl who brings a dude back from the dead and ends up fucking him.
Fair enough.
And they kill a whole heap of people.
It
was good fun. It was just really enjoyable. Number 8 was Abigail.
Haven't seen it.
Also on Netflix now. Young ballerina's vampire. The whole people locked in the house, which is funny because the younger girl, blonde girl in Abigail is the main character in Lisa Frankenstein, funnily enough.
Excellent.
Great movie. Watch it if you want some fun vampire action, because it's not serious, doesn't take itself serious. Because they're like, she's a fucking vampire. Like what, like Twilight vampire or like Interview with the Vampire kind of thing. Like, so yeah. Number 7, Twisters.
That was on the plane to watch. I just didn't really want to watch that on the plane.
It was really, I went into it to put it on as like I'm just going to put a movie on while I paint kind of thing. And within 5 minutes, it had me sucked in.
Yeah, I've heard.
Funnily enough.
I've heard lots of good things about it. So it's definitely a movie I want to watch. Just not a movie I have got to yet. But yeah, it's definitely on my list.
And it was good because it paid homage to the original Twister really well, but it was its own thing. It was a lot more sciencey than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, it was really enjoyable. Number 6, the 4:30 movie. This is Kevin Smith's latest movie.
I haven't seen it.
Really enjoyed it. It was good fun. It was just a nice, happy-go-lucky time style movie. So that's my 6. So my number 5, we've briefly mentioned it already, Transformers 1.
Yeah, it was very good.
Because I love Transformers lore. There's a really good dude on YouTube. I can't remember what his name is, but he does the complete story of insert Transformer character here. And he does heaps of them. And you get the full backstory, like comic backstory, because there's so many Transformers comics. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like 50 years of comics or some shit like that.
Yeah, well,
and this had a lot of that kind of good vibe story and a backstory of the primes and all that kind of stuff. It was really enjoyable.
Was it not knowing anything about it? Like even for a novice that's really only watched the live action movies, there was Easter eggs there that even I was picking up on, like Jazz and all those sort of things, like the characters and stuff. Bumblebee was hilarious throughout.
Bumblebee was great.
The scene at the end where he comes back, oh, Steve, we found all this. Oh no, Steve's dead again. That was fantastic.
I got knife hands.
Look at these. Yeah. No, it was fantastic all the way through. Again,
that was Jordan Peele.
I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it was a movie again where there wasn't really any dead spots. Like it flowed well. I'm amazed it got critiqued as much as it did. My only thing is it's animated, so a lot of people are like, it's animated, like I don't care about it.
It's animated, so it's kids' movie.
Yeah.
It's not animation. It's not fucking kids. Okay. What do you got for number 5?
I've got Bad Boys 4.
I watched this a couple of weeks ago. I enjoyed it.
It was
much better than the third one.
Yeah, as soon as I saw this being advertised, I knew it was going to be in my top list just because I love the Bad Boys franchise. It is unapologetically what it is. It's just two guys going around getting themselves into stupid situations and just firing guns till they get out of it. But yeah, I think this is definitely much better than the third. And yeah, good storyline. Again, it flowed quite well.
If it was at all happened, those motherfuckers would be in jail so 100%.
Quick. But like I said, even the comedic scenes were great. The son-in-law having his moment in the sun where he like defeats the whole family. They're just watching the camera and go, oh damn.
That was probably my favourite scene in the movie.
That and then following up at the end where they're at the barbecue, is like, oh, can I cook my meat? No, this is my grill. you just saw what he did to all those men. You're going to really tell him no? Here you go, Marcus. You can cook, mate.
That was good. I enjoyed that. It was good. It was better than the third one. Nowhere near as 1 or 2 level.
No, but it never will be only because of what.
Well, Michael Bay didn't do either third or fourth one.
No, he's produced them.
He's producer. Yeah. In other words, he's getting money from it.
Exactly.
But no, recommend it. Go watch it. Bad Boys 4. Oh, was it called Bad Boys 4?
Ride or Die.
Ride or Die.
Because I think For Life was number 3.
Fourth. It would make sense for the fourth one. They fucked up there. My number 4, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
So that was on my mid-season list. I thought it was fantastic. Again, it's a movie where you can just see the main actor just has an absolute fucking ball making it. It's brilliant. Yeah,
I loved it. It was so enjoyable. It got a lot of hate, and I don't understand why. It was such a great movie, and just the scene with Alan Rickman and Alan Richardson and Henry Cavill on the boat when the Germans board at the start, and they're just drunk, and they're just quality.
Yeah, throughout the whole movie, again, you just saw Cavill having a ball. Like it was hard for him not to have a smile on his face during some scenes, I think. But yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was good fun. It did fall off my list only because I think I've got others that relate to yours as well. I think you've got up there as well. But yeah, it was fantastic. It was great seeing that story of the person supposedly that James Bond is based on. From that kind of point of view, which is that not good. Also meant to be based on old mate that played Sauron? Not Sauron, Saruman. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know, because that group, Henry Cavill's character, supposedly is who he based Bond on, the Bond book on, because the radio operator, when they're talking to that's the guy who wrote Bond. Yeah, and apparently the guy that Cavill played is actually meant to be somehow related to but yeah. So my next one is Beekeeper. Really? Yeah, I just enjoyed it. Like, I can see why a lot of people wouldn't have it up there, but yeah, it was, again, unapologetically explosions, this, that. It was, great. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I love Jason Statham's movies like that. Like, he does the mechanic that, like, all his movies are pretty much the same movie, just with a different job title. He's almost the new Steven Seagal, really. Yeah, but he's not a fuckwit, and he has fun with these movies. Yeah, it was great. I don't quite understand why the FBI was in it at all. Really, I would love the daughter of the Like, I don't really get why she was in the movie. Like, I was waiting for her to be somehow involved somehow, and she wasn't. Probably to fill time. Like, she was just there, and she never really got involved. But yeah, other than that, it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was probably just to fill time, in all honesty. But no, it was enjoyable. I liked that they had a little bit of story about the lore of the beekeepers and stuff with the other assassins. I do believe there is a Beekeeper 2 coming out, but like this is definitely a storyline, like, world that could be expanded on, a bit like John Wick with the table and things like that, like learning more about the beekeepers. And you could even do sequels which not necessarily involves Statham, but like other beekeepers doing things in other parts of the world. I could see it happening. I could see a TV series based on it. It'd be good. I'd enjoy it. I'd watch it. And he's got another movie coming out which looks exactly like it, but it's a different job title. But yeah, I'll stick to it. Okay, so what are we up to? 3? Yep. Number 3, The Fall Guy. I've got that as well. That's number 3. It was just such a fucking fun movie, man. I did not expect it, because it's a remake of a TV show from way back in the day. Yeah, I found that in the movie. Like, the actors that played them in the TV show are at the end of the movie. Yeah. They're the ones who come out and go, arrest them. But yeah, I did not expect it to be as good as it was, and I went in and it was just such a fun, enjoyable movie the whole way through, and just seeing how much homage they pay to stuntmen in it. Yeah. Of like showing stuntmen doing that, and like they don't cut away, and they deliberately sort of don't cut away to show, oh yeah, that motherfucker's like, he's getting hurt. So just a brief plot for this one, because I think this is definitely a movie that if you haven't watched it, you should go see. I think it's on Netflix or Prime, one of those two. I think it's on Netflix. So the main character is stuntman for one of the famous actors. Think of like The Rock in today's sort of real world, sort of everyday action movie. gets fired because doesn't get fired, gets seriously injured, loses the will to do the job,
breaks his back.
Ends up moving away from his girlfriend, who is a camera operator who ends up being a director. They then meet back up, and he has to go around and try to save the actor again, who turns out to be basically double-crossing him. And
don't give away the plot if they haven't watched it.
Oh, just gets into it all. But yeah, it's definitely a movie to watch. Definitely funny. The scene where him and his ex-girlfriend meet up again, and the continuing, like, just the hypothetical rant about their love life and stuff being aired in front of everyone, and him just getting set on fire time and time again. Brilliant.
I love the part where he's sitting in the car by himself playing Taylor Swift, and she's like, knocks on the window, "You playing Taylor Swift?" No.
But yeah, he's just brilliant. The more movies I see of him, even like it was The Nice Guys with him and Russell Crowe.
Yep.
Brilliant movie.
Yeah. I love him in comedic roles, man. Yeah. He's got such good timing. The one with Steve Carell, what's the one where Steve Carell breaks up with his wife? I can't remember the name of it. Crazy Stupid Love.
Yes.
Yeah. That's just the scene at the end where they all fight in the backyard is just fucking hilarious, man.
All right. So since that was my number 3 as well, I'll just mention an honorary mention there. I would have said Hitman. It's got Glenn Powell in it. He's works as a mathematics teacher that freelances for the FBI doing like different things. Ends up becoming like the hitman to do drops and stuff with people to get people to incriminate themselves to killing someone. But yeah, ended up being a really good movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
I wasn't a massive fan of it. Because I started watching it and I got really bored towards the start of it, and it took me about 3 times to finish it. It was an okay movie, but it just didn't. Something about it didn't click with me.
Yep. All right, your number 2.
Oh, my number 2. God, we're at number 2 already. My number 2, The Substance.
Haven't seen it.
Oh, dude, it is just. Damn, it is a good movie. So much to unpack in that film, but it's a fantastic body horror style film. The acting, like Demi Moore, deserved her Oscar for it. She was fucking phenomenal in it. The other chick, I can't remember her name, who I only just learned today, is a nepo child. And she is amazing as well. But the story is phenomenal, and it's one of those good movies where it's a commentary on females and how they're treated in Hollywood, but it's not like, hey, this is a commentary movie. It wraps it really well to the point where you can enjoy everything that's happening and not feel like you're being preached to.
Yeah, I do like those movies that cover, or even those TV shows, because we're currently rewatching Brooklyn Nine-Nine at the moment, where real life things are put in front of you for you to witness, but it's not rammed down your throat as this is like, women's rights, or
they do
those sorts
that.
of things.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine did that really well with Black Lives Matter and all that kind of stuff.
So movies and TV shows that bring real world issues into the limelight, but aren't preachy or force feeding it to you, I think are more successful, and people take more notice of them than the ones that are very force fed down your throat. But
this is a great film. The story is weird and fucking wonderful. But yeah, highly, highly recommend The Substance. It is such a good film, and you all should watch it.
Yeah. So my number 2 is Dune Part 2.
Dune Part 2.
Again, it potential. Oh, actually, no. It's not going to take my number 1 spot. That's a lie. But definitely would be a lot closer to my number 1 if I had seen it in the movies. Watching it on an airplane with the dodgy airplane headphones, I think didn't do it justice. But yeah, fantastic. I thought Timothy Chalamet, him. I thought he was pretty good in it throughout. The scene at the end where Zendaya just realizes, he's bitch on the side now, when he's like doing the political marriage with the emperor's daughter and stuff. You could just like feel the tension, the emotion in that scene.
That because that's one of the things that didn't sit well with a lot of the fans of the books, because you can see they've kind of updated a bit more for modern times.
Yeah,
but in the books and in the miniseries, I felt it was conveyed a lot better of the fact of he can't marry her because he needs to be able to marry for political reasons.
Yeah,
and they didn't really convey that in these films, in my opinion.
I think it hit it resonated with me at the time because we had just gone through like London and England, London and Scotland and things where we'd learnt the history of like
which is what they were
like
all about.
Everyone marrying for political reasons and things like that, like Mary Queen of Scots and her like second husband and things like that. So to then see it represented in the film like that, like I love you, I'm doing everything, all this for you, and then just stands up and announces, no, you can fuck off, but I will marry your daughter and treat her right and all that sort of stuff. Like just to see the hurt on Zendaya's face was quite emotional and really well done, I thought.
Yeah, but it could have been done a little bit better in my opinion. That was probably one of my only gripes of the movie, the fact of that kind of just happened. There was no real well lead up to. So
but is that because in the book is it done?
I can't remember very much of the book. It's been a long time since I read it. But the miniseries, it's done really well. As mentioned a few times, like you got to marry political blah blah blah.
But you could feel that Zendaya knew something like that was coming throughout the movie. There were a few scenes where you can start to see her on her face and some of the conversations she has where she's starting to think he's changing, like he was right not to come down to the south and all those sorts of things, and it sort of eventually obviously erupts with that scene in the throne room there at the time.
Yeah, but no, it was good. I enjoyed it. I liked them. In my opinion, I'm going to watch the sci-fi miniseries before I'll watch those movies again.
Well,
they were stunningly gorgeous. Sound was beautiful. Everything was beautiful. All the acting was phenomenal. Florence Pugh is one of my favorite actors, so I'm always going to watch a movie with her in it. But the miniseries, for how bad it looks, it just tells the story so much better. The
downside, I think, to a lot of the casual like sci-fi fans going to watch this movie, I think, is just the length.
Oh, it's also a very political story. Yeah. It's not a sci-fi story at the side. It's just set in space.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi set movie, but not sci-fi-esque, really. The second one is a bit more so with some of the action scenes and things in there, but yeah, I think...
Fuck, the worms look so good when they're attacking at the end there in that final fight scene.
I just want to know... I have a question, though, which you won't probably be able to answer. When they're worm surfing, how do they get off the motherfuckers?
Just jump.
Yeah, sure.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to jump off this fucking 70-foot-long worm that's just creating a tidal wave of sand. Yeah, sure.
It may have been explained in the books. I can't remember. But, yeah, I'm just jump off.
That's just, the things I think about when I'm on the plane.
I think they can make them stop. I think because they control it with the hooks in the like air vents that come out of the spines of the worms. So
look, it's just something I'm rolling with. But yeah, it was just a question I had.
Yeah, maybe they have glider wings and they drop off and they glide off.
All right, number one.
Number one, we've got the same one.
Yeah,
Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah. It was just.
It's just no beating it.
Yeah, it was just perfect comic book film. It was so well done. The only one for me that beats it was Endgame. But this was just,
that only beats it because of the decade leading up to it.
It was also a phenomenal story.
It was
really well done. But yeah, it was just so good. Handled the multiverse the best out of any of the multiverse shows, and it was just such an enjoyable movie. And Hugh Jackman gave a role that did not deserve to be in a comedy movie. For a lot of scenes, there were so many good scenes he had in that.
Apparently, Kevin Feige told Hugh Jackman not to come back for it because Logan was such a good ending for the character that not to spoil it. But I'm glad Hugh didn't listen.
I do agree with that, but I think they treated it right.
I thought
with the fact of it's not that Wolverine.
Yeah, I always thought it wasn't going to happen up until it did because obviously Reynolds has been trying to tease it for years. I thought Hugh was done, but the fact he did come back, the way they did it, the comedic timing between those two throughout the whole movie was brilliant.
I just love that. We're going to make you do this till you're 70.
The car scene with those who just beat an absolute piss out of each other was great. There was a clip that shows like all the different superhero rip-off things that like Deadpool did throughout the movie from how he cleaned his sword to like the Iron Man landings and things like that. Like,
you seen apparently Nice Pool is a spoof on the director of Blake Lively's movie. Fuck, that is such a stretch, bro.
Nice, yeah.
Such a fuck. He's a Canadian. Canadians are nice, eh?
I didn't see that and just immediately moved on. But the movie that he directed was all over the planes. You get up and go to the toilet and guarantee you'd spot at least three people. I haven't seen it, but at least three people watching it at once. But yeah, Deadpool, fantastic. Even the scene with Chris Evans being Johnny Blaze, and then the spoof at the end where it's like him actually saying all that shit.
Yep.
And it wasn't Deadpool.
Apparently, that was Chris Evans. He said that was one of his conditions of being in the movie, that he wanted to be as filthy as possible to try and like shed the Captain America image.
But yeah, no, I tried to give other movies a chance of being number one, and I just couldn't. It was number one.
Yeah, pretty much same here. I'm just going to quickly run through a couple of other ones that just are at the bottom of my list. We don't really have to talk about them. The New Roadhouse, the Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earth cartoons, Godzilla x Kong,
that was pretty good.
Duchess, Dune Part 2 was my 15, 16 was Civil War, 17 Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and 18 Borderlands.
I was going to watch Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes on the plane, but didn't know if
Don't
I
rush.
should come into that part because I haven't seen any of them.
It doesn't really connect.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't really connect to the Caesar trilogy. Watch those ones. Don't bother with this one, in my opinion.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's what I figured. So I was like, I'm not going to watch this one just because I didn't know if I had time or whether it was worth starting with that. And then my only one there that was of interest to me on your rest of your list would be Roadhouse.
Yep.
Again, it was one that I was going to watch, but just I ended up watching the Harry Potter movies only because we had like half hour or 45 minutes or whatever. I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I didn't want to start a movie and then not finish it between flights, so I ran out of time to watch that one.
That's fair enough. Some of your ones you mentioned were over on my list of movies that I'd watched, but didn't quite make it to the list, like B-Man and B-Maker and stuff.
Another one quickly was Bookworm. We talked about the trailer, so that's the one with Elijah.
Oh,
Wood.
you watched that, did you? Was that good?
It was very different to where I thought it was going to go. So basically, a strange father comes to look after daughter after toaster explodes, putting mother in a coma.
Oh, fun.
That threw me straight away. So what the trailer made it out to be was it was going to be them camping, looking for that panther for the whole movie. No, they find said panther pretty early. So that threw me. I was like, what the fuck's the rest of the movie going to be about? That then proceeds to be dad being deadbeat dad, makes poor decisions, ends up making the decision to save the daughter after they are kidnapped. But daughter doesn't see it that way, that because the dad gave away the camera with all the evidence of the panther on it, and then sort of hilarity ensues for the rest of the movie as they try to get the camera back and end up bonding and becoming sort of father and daughter. So yeah, it's quite good.
So worth a watch, you reckon?
Yeah, worth a watch. I probably wouldn't say you'd watch it multiple times, but definitely worth a watch. Like it's rather kid friendly, really, for the younger ones to watch it. But yeah, like you and Amy would definitely enjoy watching it. Lisa saw parts of it and wants to go and watch it now. So yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. I completely forgot about that movie. All right, on to TV show.
Oh, I've just added to my list after seeing yours. I forgot about two shows.
Good on you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll run through from my number 10 to number 6. Shall I?
Yeah.
Number 10, Chaos. Loved Chaos.
I wanted to, but just the fact with the ending and then the fact that it was cancelled.
Yeah, that's why mine's sitting at 10.
Yeah.
Nobody Wants This. There was a Netflix show with Kristen Bell and Adam Brody.
Oh,
and he's pretty much playing an older Seth from the OC in it. It's great.
Was he the rabbi or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I've seen the show. I just haven't watched the show.
It was really enjoyable.
Yeah.
Rivals on Prime. David Tennant. It's all about a TV network in England in the 70s. Great show.
Yep.
Highly recommend it. Watch it. Phenomenal. I binged it in one night. Number 7, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Say more. Number 6, and this is only this high because the fact it got cancelled. Thank you to Mr. Gaiman and his extracurricular activities. The Dead Boy Detectives.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to that continuing because I thought it hit its stride towards the end of the season. Mm-hmm. So I was looking forward to season 2, and Sandman is done after season 2.
Yes, it's saying it is the final season, but it was always meant to be the final. No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was not meant to be the final season. Come on. Okay, so why don't you start with your number 5?
So quickly, my top 3 from halfway through the year, which was actually 5, was Fallout, The Gentleman, My Hero Academia Season 7, The Boys, Halo, and Avatar: The Last Airbender. So at number 5, I have got Mr. McMahon. Thanks for squeezing it into my list, AJ, because I missed it earlier. Oh. But the Mr. McMahon documentary I thought was quite interesting. Thoroughly enjoyed. Again, as I've seen a few episodes again since then because I was at a mate's house who was watching it. Still think they went down the line between it being a puff piece and a gotcha piece on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I thought it was really interesting. I much preferred the earlier episodes when I was learning about things about McMahon and the company that I didn't quite know. But yeah, overall, it was definitely a good show and definitely one to watch. Like even, I said, Lisa, who's not into wrestling at all, watched it and she enjoyed episodes in it.
Yeah, I did really enjoy it. I watched the shit out of it. From memory, I can remember sort of talking about it. We had like different points of view on it, but it was still, we all really enjoyed it when we were talking about it. But yeah, I recommend it to anyone, who, even if you're not a wrestling fan.
No, if you're just into documentaries, really, like it is interesting, and yeah, you can see different sides of McMahon. But yeah, it was overall it was quite good.
Okay, well, I was trying to find something that had the top movies in it. I can't remember, but from memory, Maxton Hall was one of them.
That was the German.
Yeah, rom-com. The German one.
You had The Boys in it.
Did I?
And Shogun.
Oh, Shogun was my number one. That's correct. Yeah.
I'm sure you had The Boys, or maybe Brock had The Boys.
Yeah, one of those. Well, speaking of Shogun, that is my number 5.
Still haven't had a chance to watch it. Definitely on the list to watch.
It is so well done. For those of you who don't know, it's Japanese. 3/4 of it is in Japanese. The rest is in English.
I'm finding subtitles less of a put off nowadays because
I
of
don't
anime.
really mind. I've been watching so many South Korean shows on Netflix. I went to this big thing, and then all of a sudden, just my recommended was South Korean shows. So I've watched so many K-dramas, man.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I've become obsessed with watching my shows.
Yeah, like I know, I remember the show Lupin that came out is French and watched the dubbed version, and it was watchable, but I reckon now I just watch the French version with subtitles now if I want to go and watch it.
I will watch a dubbed one if one is available, just because that way I can do other things whilst I'm watching it.
Yes, agreed.
Whereas if it's subtitles, you have to 100% focus on it. Otherwise, you miss major plot points and all that kind of stuff. But Shogun it was just such a good show, man. The acting in it was so good. The story was phenomenal. Watch the shit out of it if you haven't. It's so, I can't emphasize, like we talked about it multiple times, me and Brock.
Well,
it's great.
It ended up winning like countless awards and things.
Deserved everything it got. It's just an outstanding show. All right. So my number 4 was Rings of Power Season 2. So I binged Season 1 and Season 2 back to back and thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, another show that got a lot of hate. Can see where a lot of that hate came from the Lord of the Rings purists. But again, as a standalone fantasy show, I thought it was quite good. Nice little tie-ins to the main show. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. I have not finished Season 2 yet. I watched episodes 1 and 2 as they were airing, and then I kind of forgot about it because other things came out, and just haven't got back to it yet.
Oh, yeah, so definitely the end scenes. There's some battle scenes in there and things like that, and Sauron starts to sort of show his true colours again. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed the whole thing.
But I did that with Wheel of Time as well, with Season 2 of Wheel of Time. I kind of watched the first couple of episodes and then forgot about it, and then rewatched it. But I'll watch Wheel of Time over Lord of the Rings any day because I think it's a much better story.
Yeah. Even
if the books are fucking nightmare to read, but it is such a great fucking story. Yep. Watch Wheel of Time if you haven't watched Wheel of Time. My number 4, Echo.
Haven't watched it, but I know you two loved it.
Oh, I liked it more than Brock. Brock liked it. I loved it. I thought it was one of the better TV shows that has been released for Marvel. I just really loved how they depicted the deaf main character. The story around it was phenomenal. The way she worked, and the ending, it took a little jump the shark-ish, but it still kind of worked in it. And I mean, old mate that plays Kingpin,
D'Onofrio,
he is such a good fucking actor.
When they brought Daredevil back, the fact that they brought D'Onofrio back was perfect. If they recast that with any other person, it wasn't going to work.
He's so good in this. The chick that plays it, I cannot remember her name, and I probably wouldn't want to say it anyway because I'd probably butcher it. It's her first acting role in the Hawkeye series, and this is her second acting role, and she was so good, man. The scene where she sees her mum in it, and she started like bawling her eyes out and stuff. It was just, so good, so well done. And the fact that she actually is deaf and an amputee in real life as well, and it was a great series. And another fact was it didn't connect really. The only connection it really had to the rest of it was Kingpin.
Yeah, and that's interesting. And it's because I know you both spoke highly of it. The fact that it is not tying back in is interesting. I wonder if that will happen in the future. I don't think it will from what you've said and what's sort of been leaked from Marvel. But yeah, again, at the same time, I don't mind them doing random spin-off shows or movies that don't really have anything to do with the wider Marvel world. But at the same time, then I think for the casual viewer, a lot of them will not watch things because it's just an extra thing to watch.
Yeah, I think one of the good things about this one that also made me like it a lot was the fact that it is more of a down-to-earth story, which is that's why I liked Hawkeye. It wasn't about massive superpowers and galactic and outer space and stuff. It was just simple, down-to-earth hero that. But
that's why I think
does things.
I think, like, especially for myself, why a lot of people resonate with like Batman and things. Like he's a superhero but doesn't have the superpowers. And why, again, for me, why I dislike Superman so much is because he's over the top with all the superpowers. It's just not.
You need to read the Absolute.
I know you've told me.
So good.
I've finished Old Man Logan, but that's another story. But yeah, I like those down to earth superheroes where they're superpowered or have superpower effects, but aren't necessarily over the top and have some sort of aspect of vulnerability to them.
So Echo was my number 4.
My number 4 was... Oh, sorry, that was your number 3, wasn't it?
No, that was my number 4.
Yeah, my number 3 was Dan to Dan.
Dan.
For an anime, I had no clue what was going on other than my mate Sam going, you should watch this, you'll probably like it. Holy fuck.
It's so good,
Still don't know what the fuck is going on.
So good.
But looking forward to season 2.
It's so funny. Brock came over the other day and he goes, I finally watched Dan to Dan. I just looked at him with like glee in my eyes and he goes, it's fucking mental. I'm like, yeah, there it is.
Yeah, just put it on. It's definitely not an entry-level anime, but put it on. I don't care if you watch anime or not. It's worth a watch. The storyline is just absolutely out there, but...
I've got the manga. I haven't read it yet, but I've got all the mangas.
I don't know if I probably will. I think this might be the thing that breaks my manga curse of... Oh, not curse, but like reading mangas ahead of the anime.
Yeah.
But...
That's why I don't want to jump ahead.
Yeah, it's just so good. So good. Just everything from the characters, the character interactions. The grandmother is hilarious.
Yep.
The introduction of like the love triangle at the end of season 1 was well done. I'm looking forward to seeing more of the demons and things come out.
Yep.
We still don't know much about the aliens involved other than they're after everyone's sex organs. But yeah, it's just a fucking show to watch. I love it.
It's mental. It's out there. It's so much fun, man. All right. My number 3, this was up on my list. I think it might have been number 3 last time. Might have been number 2, Maxton Hall. The World Between Us. Mentioned it before. It's I've got my camera on you, not me. It's essentially, for those who haven't listened before me talk about it, it's a high school drama set in England, but it's a German show where poor chick goes to a rich school on scholarship, accidentally walks in on one of the rich girls making out with the teacher. Her brother tries to bribe her and she's like, fuck you. So he like ruins a party she goes to and then they have to get paired together and then they slowly fall in love, blah, 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 fights ensue and stuff. It's essentially, it's very Gossip Girly and Twilight minus the vampire-y stuff. It's super rom-com-y, not rom-com, like romantic-y drama style show like those. I don't know why, I just fucking love it.
It's on Prime, isn't it?
It's on Prime.
Yeah, I have to get Lisa to watch it.
It was the most watched premiere of any show on Prime ever.
I just wanted to watch anything that's not maths at the moment, so that'll be fine.
It's really, really good. It's funny. First time I was watching it, because I've watched it like 3 times now. It's a great show. I really like it. First time I was watching it, there's a scene where they're making out in like a basement thing and the dad catches them, the rich guy's dad, and he's a cunt of a human being. And I paused it halfway through because I had to go get the kid or something like that. And I've come back and pressed play, and for some reason it's changed from English dubbing to German. And he's all of a sudden like full like German. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because I forgot that it was German. Because the dubbing is really well done.
Yeah. Because
the
German vernacular is quite similar.
It's very similar. So after about 5 minutes, you completely forget that it's dubbed.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a really good show. If you like that trashy TV, you'll love this.
I'll definitely put on the Lisa. So my number 2, which I have a feeling is your number 2 conspiracy list, it's Agatha All Along.
Agatha All Along.
It's by far the best Marvel TV show I've watched. In saying that I haven't watched them all, but it's definitely the top one I've watched. A little upset I feel I think it's been announced there won't be a second Agatha, but I don't think it's the end of Agatha. I think she'll continue in.
Essentially, from what I've heard, it's going to be like WandaVision essentially was a season 1. Yeah. Agatha is a season 2. And then the next one will be a season 3, but it'll be a different story again.
But season 3, yeah.
The characters will carry through kind of thing.
But it was fantastic. The not the Wizard of Oz, the time skip one with Old Love. And that was by far the best episode. It
was just beautifully made TV. The writing throughout that entire series to lead to that point was so well done. So well done.
My only critique of it, I just think Death, for being such an important character in the Marvel storylines, was left a little bit underdone at the end of the show. But that's a very, 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 very small thing. But yeah, overall it was great. From the first episode being her still stuck in her sort of like mental coma thing, to right at the end where she's dead and help and everything. It was a fantastic season from start to finish.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. It was I've watched it again since, and I enjoyed it just as much the second time. So that says something about the quality of it.
It had Lisa and I like frothing week to week to wait for that next episode.
It's one of the only ones, because Echo dropped all at once, but this was one of the ones from week to week, and it's one of the only ones I've looked forward to watching week to week.
My number 1 is another one that was week to week, and it eclipsed it, but those 2 shows, were fantastic, and it's something that you and Brock have talked about before, the fact that you wait months or years for a show, they drop the 8 episodes, and you watch all 8 episodes in one go, and it's done.
Yep.
It does leave a sour taste in some shows because you forget about it so quickly because you've waited so long and it's gone. So to have to wait that time frame, like 6 weeks or something, we had to wait to watch the whole thing. Was brilliant.
My big issue with that kind of stuff is I don't mind week to week, but the fact that series are so short now, and you're waiting 1.5 years to 2 years between seasons, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like you look at the old format of like sitcoms and stuff like that, like How I Met Your Mother, 23 episodes a year.
And they were churning out year to year,
They'd come out every year. And you knew the next season was coming next year kind of thing. And it's just, The
problem I think shows like that have nowadays is it's not happening all the time, but it's definitely increasing, is those big Hollywood names now are doing both TV shows and movies, and therefore their time is a lot.
And also shows now have movie budgets.
Yeah.
So it's just, like some shows are like 200, like Game of Thrones, some of those episodes, the last season, some of those episodes are like 200 million an episode, which is just fucking ridiculous.
Haven't watched House of Dragons, one I thought would be on the list, but we just haven't had the time because it was so far between season 1 and season 2. We felt like we started watching episode 1 of season 2 and we're like, I can't remember all these plots and characters. So we have to. I know you haven't watched it.
I gave up before the time jump in season 1.
Yeah, well, we're going to go back and eventually rewatch season 1 so then we can watch season 2.
Because I haven't even watched the last season of Game of Thrones. I know what happens.
I would like to go back and watch Game of Thrones knowing the ending so I can watch it from a more like analytical point of view.
Because it's going to be the only ending we're ever going to get, because old mate's never going to finish. He's pretty much come out and said he's not even going to bother.
Yeah, he's come out and said he just wants to be left alone so he can play Baldur's Gate and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right, my number 2 was Agatha All Along as well.
My number 1 is different to yours, so this is good.
This is good, yep.
My number 1 is Penguin. And how the fact Penguin hasn't come up on your list, I don't know. This show was just fucking brilliant.
It just didn't match the criteria for my list.
Just, again, week to week, the fact that that's Colin Farrell.
He did such a good job. He deserved to win awards for that. So I don't even know if it was up this year. Might be next year it gets into the list. But yeah, he deserves awards.
Yeah, the fact, like I saw a screenshot the other day of Colin Farrell next to him as the Penguin. It's like, how the fuck is that the same guy? But yeah, has Brock finished it yet? Brock, if you haven't finished it yet, I'm coming for you. Like, you need to watch this show so we can talk about it.
Oh, he's coming for you, Brock. He's coming for you.
Just watch it, please. Please. I've been away for 6 weeks. Watch it. Come on. But yeah, like from start to finish, Christian Milotti, or however you say her last name, the mother from How to Met the Mother, she was brilliant in it. I hope she continues in the DC movie storyline, because apparently it's talked about she might be appearing in the next one.
It's Elseworld storyline. Yeah. So it's not it's going to continue, but it's not a part of. But it's like her character dies in the comics, so I don't know how long she'll be in it for.
I don't mind if she's not a super long one, but I just would like to see her continue because she did such a good job. But yeah, from start to finish, the show was brilliant. There is a scene at the end that just absolutely gut wrenches you. Lisa's like, no, I hate the show now because of that scene.
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, from start to finish, I've said a lot. It was brilliant. From the very first moment you turn the show on to the very last scene, it had me wanting to watch, waiting week to week. Like I was on edge, waiting every Monday for it to come out so I could watch it.
Yeah,
it's very rare that a show has done that. Agatha did it. Penguin did it that little bit better for that anticipation, but there hasn't been a show like that in ages that has had me waiting each week to watch it.
Nice. Well, my number one is Twilight of the Gods.
That was on my honorable list.
The story in it was just such a good story. The animation was fucking amazing. Zack Snyder's name was on it, but I have a feeling he didn't have much involvement in it.
I think he had involvement in, or I'm not saying a huge, but I think he had more of involvement in episode 1 and the final episode.
But it was so well done, man. The story was just so gripping the whole way through. You found yourself wanting her to get there and to fuck him up.
It took me 2 or 3 episodes to realize, hang on, he's not the main character.
Yeah, she is. Yep.
Wow. All right, I'm into this now.
And she was such a good character, so well written in my opinion. The story was phenomenal. I loved the whole new gods versus old gods thing with Zeus sort of losing his power, and you see the shots of Jesus and stuff in it. And
I enjoyed that it wasn't like Hollywood Thor that we're used to as well. It was Thor the Dick, which was
he was a cunt and a half in this.
And speaking of dicks, there was a lot of cartoon.
Oh yeah, a lot of cartoon dong in that one. And yeah, it was great. All the characters I love. I love the part where the dude's a fish and he jumps out of the water and Loki just grabs him as he does and just crushes his head. And you're like, well, he's not in the story anymore.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, bye.
And yeah, the scene where Loki's like reveals himself to be like the puppet master behind everything was again well done. So yeah, it was definitely one that was high up on my list. Just didn't quite crack my top 5, but definitely there.
So you over there, come here. If you haven't watched it because it's a cartoon, wake the fuck up to yourself. It is such a good show. It is not for kids in the slightest bit. If your kids watch that, you're gonna need to be explaining some things.
It's also not anime in the slightest as well. Like no, it is an adult story just told through animation.
It's very Samurai Jack-esque in its animation style. For those of our generation might know, for a cartoon to match it to. So my number 1 was Twilight of the Gods, number 2 Agatha All Along, 3 Maxton Hall, 4 Echo, and 5 Shogun.
1 Penguin, 2 Agatha, 3 Dan to Dan, 4 Rings of Power Season 2, and 5 was Mr. McMahon.
And then just some quick honourable mentions. 11, X-Men 97, 12, My Lady Jane, 13, Dr. Odyssey, 14, Mr. McMahon, 15, Geek Girl, 16, Kite Man, hell yeah! 17, Gundam Requiem for Vengeance, 18, Dan to Dan, 19, Fallout, and then 20, The Gentleman.
Yeah, I had Fallout and Gentleman higher in the midway point. Obviously, shows like Penguin and that wasn't out at the time, so took its spot. But yeah, very good shows. Surprised X-Men 97 wasn't higher for you?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I just enjoyed everything else more.
Fair enough, because I know you thoroughly enjoyed that show.
Yeah,
so to see
it was great.
That low,
I guarantee you it's going to be very high on Brock's list. I reckon it's probably going to be 1.
X-Men, that was also one that was
I
on
think
your
it may beat
mid-season
because
list.
Shogun was his number one, along as mine. I have a feeling X-Men 97 will probably beat Shogun for him.
Penguin should fucking beat Shogun for you too, Brock, just saying. But yeah, definitely a season of shows. Now, are we going to talk about Secret Level?
We can talk about Secret Level if you like. Yeah, sure.
Now, only why I was going to talk about it is because it almost made my list, but it wasn't. It wasn't the fact it wasn't good enough to make the list, just because it was the short story anthology. I didn't know if it should make my list, if that makes sense. Because
I liked some of the episodes.
There were definitely some flat episodes.
Yeah.
The Pac-Man episode just fucking blew my mind.
Loved the Pac-Man. I watched it. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then I'm like, this is the fucking amazing. I want to play this Pac-Man.
So before we continue, basically Secret Level for those at home is an anthology series. 13 episodes?
I can't remember, yeah, something like that.
13-ish episodes where basically they run from 5 to maybe 12 minutes long. Each episode is based on different game, from Dungeons & Dragons to Warhammer to Pac-Man to Unreal Tournament.
Mega Man.
Mega Man, yeah. They all just...
Done by Tim Miller, who directed the original Deadpool. Yeah.
But yeah, so just short little things telling different stories that all sort of amalgamate in that final episode. But yeah, apparently it's been released... got the go-ahead for Season 2.
That's good. I hope we see another Warhammer 40k one, because that was... and Mega Man were the standouts, but the Warhammer 40k one was...
It's the most realistic Warhammer 40k I've seen. But speaking of, there has been another...
Astartes 2, baby.
Yes. Have you seen it?
Astartes 2. I've watched the trailer.
I haven't yet. I know it's on there to watch. I just haven't watched it since I've been back yet.
It looks good.
Yeah. Again, I think from what I've been told from my mates, Warhammer mates, again... shows Space Marines as Space Marines.
See, that's the reason the 40k one in Secret Level is so good, is because it's the guy that made the original Astartes, the Games Workshop, rightfully so, hired. He did all the blocking for it. So he did all the story beats and stuff in the animation, and then other people came in and animated it. So that's why it is the way it is.
Just seeing the Space Marine pick up old mate and just headbutt him. That's just quintessential
just
Space
shoots
Marine.
him in the head, he just turns around like, fuck you.
But yeah, so overall thoughts of the season?
I loved it. I'm probably going to watch it again, because I kind of watched it in bits and pieces. Like I watched one episode here, another episode there, another episode there, kind of thing. Because as soon as it came out, I'm like, Warhammer 40k, which episode is that one? Bad. And I just watched that one straight away. Then I watched the Pac-Man one. Then I left it for a while. Came back, watched the D&D one. Then I left it for a while. Once they all got released, watched the Mega Man one, and kind of just jumped all over the shop. So I might just sit down and watch it again from start to finish.
It was cool. So like, the Mega Man one was interesting because as a kid growing up with Mega Man, it was great. Never really knew the origin of Mega Man. So to see that portrayed was great. From my D&D mates, they deem that party is fucked at the end of the first episode. That they have no chance in hell of beating the dragon. I know that dragon is has quite a lot of importance in D&D. I just don't know his name.
It was Tiamat, wasn't it?
Yes, Tiamat, it was. But yeah, I didn't know anything about him. But apparently, he's going to fuck their day.
Yeah, he's pretty much like the daddy of all daddies.
But yeah,
he's Pedro Pascal in dragon form. He's that daddy.
And the voice cast in it was fantastic. Like the Arnie Schwarzenegger episode, I was like,
"Yeah,
is it Arnie? That's Arnie. That fucking is Arnie." And the Keanu Reeves episode was brilliant. But yeah, so it was great to see, and especially for games that I don't have much knowledge or experience in, to see some of their storylines brought to life in that short format was quite enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. And like I said, the Warhammer 40k one was like the episode for me. Like it was just phenomenal.
But again, it's because they're so short. Give yourself an hour. You'll watch all the episodes easily, and it's on Prime. So if you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it.
And if you really enjoy it and you want to watch more like that, you can go on Netflix and check out Love, Death and Robots, which is essentially, I think it's made by the same people. It's anthology series, but it's more based around robots and life ending and stuff like that. On Netflix, there's 2 seasons, I want to say. Anthology series, so each episode's a different thing, and it's really good too. There's some really good episodes, and some like episodes are done in different art styles as well, which is really nice, and yeah, highly recommend it.
All right. So do you have any show on your watching, or that you're currently watching?
Yes, I do. I am currently watching The Rig on Prime. So season 1 came out
That sounds familiar.
A while ago. It's one about these guys, like this oil rig. People are trapped on it, and then like a cloud comes over and the ash starts to fall, and then weird shit starts to happen. And
I think I remember seeing the trailers for this.
Because I watched the first episode when it came out, and for some reason never finished it. And I was just looking for something to watch the other night, and I was like, oh, I'll chuck this on. And I was smashed the entire season in one night, painting some minis, and loved it. And season 2 had just come out 2 months ago or something like that. So I'm into season 2 now, and it's really good. It's got me hooked. Excellent.
Well, listen, we were rewatching Brooklyn Nine-Nine because we're overseas and we don't understand Dutch or German, so we're just watching what we could on Netflix at the time. Really interesting to see like the little pop-ups at the bottom of Brooklyn Nine-Nine appear, but like in German, even though they're speaking English.
Yep.
But no, I'm watching Bleach 1000 Year Blood War, the 3rd season of that. It's quite good at the moment. And Dodoro that's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, so Dodoro is basically, old mate is this like shogun sort of son, but the shogun made a promise to these like 9 demons or something for power, the cost of his firstborn son that was basically born with no eyes, no arms, no legs, no skin, no nothing. That kid obviously that grows up and is found by some guy that makes prosthetics and things, so kits him out in all these prosthetics, and he goes around hunting demons and things because he can't see, but he can see like everyone's essence and knows if you're good or evil, and goes around that way and eventually starts killing these demons. And then as he kills each demon, the part of his body that demon sort of held is regenerated to him. So I'm halfway through that, but yeah, it's quite good.
Oh, that's cool. I've also been watching sporadically Food Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is just, it's funny as fuck, man. They eat food, they have orgasms. It's hilarious. It's so over the top and amazing. I thoroughly enjoy it. I've been watching it for a while, but I've kind of just started watching it again. I think I got up to like halfway through season 2 the first time I watched it, and I've just started season 1 again, watching through it now, and it's just such a weird, wonderful anime.
Well, to go completely 180 from that, I've also, because of scanning through Facebook videos, got back onto watching like Counting Cars and Porn Stars and things like that. So,
oh my God, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, some of them are just interesting. I'm not massively into cars by any means, but seeing some of those cars and bikes done up is always cool to see. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, that's it for episode 52, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to thank you severely for joining us after this nice long break that we had, and we promise that break is not happening again for a while. We will be back next week with the 3 of us instead of 2 of us.
Yeah. Now, because Brock didn't manage to help, I've got a question for you. Would you prefer, if you could choose one out of the 2, Hulk or Loki?
As in terms of the characters?
Just the characters, yeah.
I'd go Hulk.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There's your Hulk fist, mate.
Yeah! Dun, dun, dun.
And then, Brock, you get the Loki keychain.
Woo! Bang, bang, bang. Hulk smash.
All the way from Paris, Disneyland, mate, so I hope you enjoy.
Fuck yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, good sir. Yeah, well, after that, on that note, thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Stay frantic.
Hey, guys, thanks for listening to Frantic Nerdcast.
You can find all our latest news and information on Facebook or at franticnerdcast.com.
You can find us on Instagram at Frantic Nerdcast. Find AJ at Weird Art by AJ. Find Zach at Frantic Kaz and myself at Frantic Brock.
Please make sure to head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe for more YouTube-only content like Sequelize It and Plays Games.